I'd like to, let me make sure also that I got my companion running for transcribing, which I think I do. So I'd like to welcome everybody to the Tips and Tricks SIG Special Interest Group. That is, what are we, October edition. Typical format would be our open forum, and then we could go into some of the topics that I sent out tonight. We had originally started out with, previously with Drew was elaborating on using Flatpak and FlatHub using an Ubuntu app that's running under Windows. And Drew, you want to take over from there?
Sure.
But
well, before we start, Bob has his hand raised.
Bob, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to mention that Tim Kekas sent me an email which references a YouTube announcement about Intel 11th through 14th generation processors and their graphics drivers, and that YouTube video is in error. There is not going to be a discontinuation.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
However, there will be some changes, and those can be discussed after Drew.
Right. Okay, Drew,
Okay.
Continue.
All right. Let me come on, click on the share button and screen one and share. And there we go. Come on, give me my screen back. There we go. All right, can everybody see the Linux desktop?
We see a blank screen.
Huh.
So whatever we're probably on an alternate monitor or something.
Let me
Screen.
What did I do wrong?
You did the same thing last time.
Can I? Did I do wrong? So you're only seeing a blank screen, huh?
Yeah, it says Drew has started sharing his screen. Double click to enter full screen mode.
Oh. Let me, I think what I did was I dragged this box. Come on. Maybe I shouldn't have been doing a second screen.
We see something. Yeah, that was what you were kind of showing us.
All right. Okay. All right. Can you see it now?
We see Mini 221 Tiger VMware workstation.
Cool.
In the upper left.
Great. So in the come on, in the software. Here we go. I don't know why my machine is running so sluggishly, but there is a new app store and it's called Bazaar. And this is what it looks like. And I don't know if any of you ever have a need to manipulate PDF files, like cutting and splicing, taking pages in and out, rearranging pages, not necessarily marking them up. I found a very nice program called PDF Arranger. You can search this database for anything. I typed in PDF and it came up with this program. I found this program called PDF Arranger that lets you merge, shuffle, and crop PDF files. And so far, it's done everything. It works flawlessly. And if you run it on Linux, then you have the ability to do it, normally. If you're running it on Windows, you can still cut and paste machine PDF files that you have running on your computer, because I'm going to, if you go into here, you go into all programs, and then whenever you run a new program or install a new program on Ubuntu on Windows, you have a program group in Windows on your start menu called Ubuntu. And it puts an entry in here every time you install a new piece of software. So it puts it right on your Windows menu. And here is a, where did I put it? It's down under PDF. PDF Arranger is right here. So if I click on that, it should run the Windows version. Well, it's the Linux version running on Windows. If it comes up, come on. Let me go down to Flatpak App Store. This is the, if you get into trouble, this is my first day running this on Windows. For those of you who don't know this, this is sort of the command line version of running a program. When you don't understand why something is not working, you run it at the command line, and then maybe it'll pop up an error message and telling me why it's not doing it. Oh, there we go. And this is the program running on Windows. And I would click here to open the file browser. And then I can click on a PDF file and say open. And you can get to all your Windows files from the Windows subsystem for Linux. And this is that PDF file that I just opened. And if you want to rearrange the pages, you just drag them to where you want them. And they move. You can cut and delete pages. So for those of you who don't have a PDF splicer, this is a free tool that lets you to do that. And I also found a friend of mine likes to use a program called 4K YouTube Downloader, which runs on Windows. Inside the Flatpak store, I found a program called 4K Tube, and you can search for whatever you want in here. I could type in VMware and it'll pull up videos that are about VMware, and then you can download. You can click on, you can play them, or you can download them. If I were to say play now, it just played it. This is my first time trying this, so I don't know if it's going to work or not, but this is a good program for, hey, there it goes.
Hey, what's up, guys? Brandon Lee with Virtualization.
So you can play YouTube videos, but I installed it for the purpose of testing whether or not it could download a YouTube video, and it can. And it's just a matter of clicking on this little button, and then it goes out and downloads the file. And it gives you the option to look for the quality of the file that you want. You can download any of the available file types. 720, 1080, and all that. So it's very simple to use. And then you just click on Start Download, and it will download the video for you. And I'm demonstrating this on Linux. I haven't tested this on Windows yet, so I don't know if this runs on Windows. Not every Linux program will run on Windows because it's a subsystem of Linux and not a real Linux. But I just came across this afternoon and thought I might show it off as a tip for people that either have started learning about Windows subsystem for Linux or use Linux as a way of loading some additional software that may not be available necessarily on Windows that you might like to use.
So we
And
can
that's about.
we can just go ahead and start downloading any Linux apps, or do we have to do something first?
Well, when you have a brand new version of Windows that has not yet run Windows subsystem for Linux for the first time, you need to go into the Microsoft Store. And I have Windows updates disabled right now, so my search button is missing. But if you were in the Microsoft Store, you could search for Windows subsystem for Linux, and it will show you Ubuntu 20, I think 24.04 is the most recent one that they have in the store. And that will install the Windows subsystem for Linux for you. And after it's done installing, you can either, if you want to, open up a terminal window. If you open up a command prompt, let's say you open up a command prompt and you have the down arrow here, Ubuntu will be on your list of available to open up a new terminal window. So this is my Linux terminal on Windows. And then as far as installing software goes, the very first thing that you would need to do is install the Flatpak software. I don't know if you wanted me to go into how to do that tonight, but
No, not tonight.
but it's very simple to install the Flatpak software. And then once you do that, you can install any of those programs that are in that store. So it's basically a two-step process. Step one is to install the Windows subsystem for Linux. And then there's a program it's actually called Flatpak. And you install the Ubuntu provides the Flatpak software for you. It comes with the distro. And then you can, I'll show you real quick if you go to flathub.org, this is the website that this app store was built on. And for those of you who don't know how to set up FlatHub, it actually has a button here that tells you how to set up FlatHub. And this is the website. Here's AudioTube right here. It just went flying by. There it is, AudioTube. And then over here, it tells you how to install it. So this is the website called flathub.org that you would want to familiarize yourself with. And then you can, you want to start by typing in the word Bazaar, B-A-Z, I think it's actually B-A-Z-A-A-R. Yeah. This is the store. And then here's the install button for it. And once you have Bazaar running, it'll put itself into the Windows menu. And then you can just pick out what you want to run. And it'll load it for you with all of the dependencies. You don't have to know anything about Linux.
Okay. Could you stop sharing your screen?
Sure.
Thank you.
next time I will
All
try
right,
and make
so I went onto the Microsoft site and I typed in uh, Windows subsystem for Linux, and this is what was displayed. So going off of what you said, we'd be installing or clicking on which item on here, Drew?
I'm not seeing anything.
Okay, well, this is why I did that, because you said go to Windows and type in this,
Oh, into the Microsoft Store.
right?
Yeah, no, on not in a browser.
No, I'm in the Microsoft Store. I went to Microsoft and then I did a search for
Oh,
Windows
no. On
subsystem for
on
Linux.
on Windows, you have an application called Microsoft Store.
Ah,
Not in your browser.
see, I'm being literal. Okay, so we need to go to the App Store first. That's the Microsoft
Yeah.
Store.
Yeah, in Windows 11, or Windows 10, when you install it, it installs automatically for you the Microsoft Store.
Okay, all
It's on
right.
your start menu.
So we'll share this. All right, we shared this, and then I should be searching for.
Windows
Oh,
subsystem.
okay. And then I see all these Ubuntu's. Are these the different versions, Drew? Did we lock up? Drew's frozen. Pete's still good. Bob's still good. Bob's got his hand up. Bob, I'm sorry, I didn't see your hand up.
Okay, lots to say about this, but let me be brief. First of all, Windows subsystem for Linux is not exactly plug and play, and you do start out in the terminal, which you don't have to do if you use Linux Live or if you install it onto an external USB device or something like that,
Mhm.
which is not exactly doable, but kind of similar. The other things that I did, I put a couple of things in chat, and I like some of these apps. But Ubuntu does not natively support Flatpaks. It doesn't even contain the framework. That has to be added, and
I think that's what he was kind of
that's what
getting
Drew
to.
is saying you have to do, and it's
Right.
not really very straightforward from the terminal.
All right.
And it is something in Ubuntu you have to do from terminal.
So Drew is not here. He may come back in.
Yeah.
I see he said to go into here, type in Windows subsystem for Linux, and I'm assuming you download one of these Ubuntu's.
Yeah, I
Can you
the
can
very
you can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
I just to
Yep.
finish what I'm saying, the very latest Ubuntu is Ubuntu 24.04.1 LTS, and that's a good one. Or you could do just Ubuntu, which will probably be the standard WSL Ubuntu.
Okay.
Let's let
Yeah,
Drew
you
continue.
want the 2404 LTS.
Okay. And then you download that, and that will get you started in the direction so you could start loading in Linux apps, correct?
Right. That's step one, and that will install that version of Ubuntu. And then it's not obvious to the Windows user to go into a terminal window, um, which is why it's a little complicated sounding. But inside Ubuntu, when you open up a terminal window and you say sudo apt install and then the word flatpak, that will download and install the necessary software.
Okay.
Or you can follow the instructions on the FlatHub website.
All right. I think we've kind of explored this tangent over here. This is more of a Linux under Windows thing. But thank you, Drew. Thanks for educating us on how to run Linux apps in Windows using Flatpak. Who'd like to open up? Who'd like to have a question they'd like to throw to the group? No one. Dennis, you got something for us? Dennis is being quiet.
Is it too soon to bring up my little thing that Tim was talking about? By the way, is my sound a little better now?
Your sound is great.
Okay, because Pete was complaining.
Oh,
says
Pete, wait,
no.
Pete's got his thumb down. He says he can't hear you?
Pete, that seems to be on your end.
Because I can hear Bob just fine.
I hold down the
There you go. There's Dennis is talking.
Yeah,
I hold down this. Never mind.
Bob, your voice is about 3 dBs lower than everybody else's, so it's not my end.
Is anybody else experiencing that?
You
I can
sound-
hear you. It's just very, very soft.
Yeah, but is anybody else experiencing that same thing?
I can hear you fine.
just fine. It's got to be something from Boston to Maui.
It's that
lost in
military.
translation.
It's that military on the cable thing.
Must be. Okay.
Someone's
still
listening
hear
on
you.
that
But
cable.
anyway, Pete, can you hear me when I talk?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about the issue, but it's not something I or we can fix.
No problem.
And it won't come across in the recording badly, which is what Tim Kekas always goes off the handle about.
Mhm.
And he has reasons.
Uh,
So thanks for the heads up about that anyway. One other, what I was going to talk about was something Tim sent in an email. I think it was today, that Intel, according to a YouTube video, is ending support for graphics drivers for 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th generation Intel chips. There is something happening, and it's been going on for a while. There is in Intel something called ARC Graphics. And ARC Graphics it's sort of high end. It's for gamers, and the integrated graphics have never benefited from it. So taking these chips with the integrated graphics out of the day 0, day 1 gaming ARC graphics update cycles is probably a good thing, because now I don't have to have all these daily or weekly graphics driver updates every time I open up Windows. I've got integrated graphics. I don't care that they're classified as legacy. They don't need anything more. And there are several articles that are linked through things I found in Gemini AI and Google. Tech Power Up is one place that has an explanation, or you can go straight to the source with Intel, and I can post a reference for what they are doing. There are changes happening. So that's the news item from Tim and what I found out about it today.
So it is a false alarm.
There are things going on, and gamers are going to suffer if they insist on using integrated graphics, which very few gamers do.
You mentioned, so is this true or not true?
Okay, let's go to Intel. What Intel actually says about this, let me go to my desktop and get the document. It'll take me half a second. Desktop document, Intel is not dropping. Okay, and let's go to that link. And paste and go. Now, if anybody wants me to share my screen, it's just a print article. As of September 19th, Intel will be moving 11th through 14th gen Intel processor graphics and related Atom, Pentium, Celeron processor graphics. These are integrated graphics to legacy software support model. Intel will provide software support for affected products on critical fixes, which would mean that something has stopped working under Windows, and security vulnerabilities only. Software updates for these products will move to a quarterly release cadence. Yay! With additional critical releases as needed. And code names, blah, blah, and what the chips are, and FAQs. What is changing, etc., etc. And day zero game support will no longer be available on these products. The ARC features will no longer be available on these products. Very niche edge sorts of things, and most people who do this sort of gaming would really be better off with a discrete graphics card anyway. And they know it. So, yeah, the video was being kind of alarmist and kind of getting on Intel's case for something that doesn't need to be criticized. There are plenty of things to criticize about Intel lately, but this is not one of them.
Okay, so is this going to affect us, or is it future generations, or is it past generations?
It's already affected me.
Okay.
There will be fewer driver updates. There have been legacy software interface removals, and there will continue to be such. And it's that sort of thing. So to me, it's not even an inconvenience. It's actually going to make my life easier. And you've got to expect, as chips age, they get less support. It's just this is so soon after these chips were introduced. They're not that old. And this does not affect Windows feature updates or Windows 11 or 12 compatibility. That's up to Microsoft.
Do you think this has to do with them letting people go, downsizing?
Yeah, their financial woes definitely lead to wanting to have fewer support issues.
Okay, got it.
And wanting to support less software, less of their software. They already offloaded their NUC mini PCs to Asus.
Right. Thank you. Thanks, Bob. All right, anyone else got any questions or comments? Questions?
Bert has
Pete.
his hand up.
Bert, oh, I'm sorry, Bert, you got your hand up. Thank you, Bob. I don't see these all the time.
Where the change today is sort of shutting down some of Windows 10, and I would think that that's all coordinated with the graphic stuff. So they're basically, we're going to see a lot of changes, not only in the foreground, but in the background. So if it's not a surprise that they picked this time to do it.
Not a surprise.
The other thing I wanted to mention, I hate holding down the space bar. Anyway, today when I updated my Microsoft Edge, I was taken over by a new screen called Cloud.Microsoft 365. And basically, it's a chat from Copilot that wants to take over your screen. And I mean, in other words, I didn't get the normal screen that you would get when you opened Edge. I had a sort of fight with getting away from the cloud screen so I could get, back to my normal screen. Not something I wanted, but I imagine a lot of people who would have done that today were confused as to what to do. Because basically it's Microsoft's trying to say, okay, we want you to chat with us to get whatever you want, instead of using the regular screens and tools you've used before. So that's my 2 cents. Anybody else notice that?
I think that's for 365 users, people who have subscriptions. And it's just Microsoft's little way of, shall we say, subtly nudging you to start using more Copilot in 365.
Well, it's, there's Copilot's been there a long time, and they do make some changes, but this tried to take over the system.
Yep,
And I've never seen that or heard that they were going to do that before.
that's Microsoft's gentle nudge approach these days. When I open my user account in Windows 11 Pro, I often get a screen that's across the entire screen, doesn't have an X out, and it says, you forgot to activate cloud backup and cloud storage. You forgot to move your files to the cloud. And that's just ordinary Windows.
Well, but they did that as part of letting you get security updates past Windows 10.
No. This isn't Windows 10. It's Windows 11 Pro. 11.
Okay, well, they have it for 11 Pro also. But if you were on 10, that's one of the ways you get the future updates for free, is by making sure you do your backup.
Oh, yeah. But this is just pushing you, shoving you to get into the cloud, activate your OneDrive, start syncing to OneDrive.
No, I
and start
understand that,
using
but
up more
today
space.
was far beyond that.
Yeah, I know. I've read about it in what used to be Windows Secrets newsletter. It's bad. It's annoying. And
Well,
it's getting
it's
worse.
disruptive for people who actually use their systems.
Yep, it's getting worse. Copilot AI, big thing with Microsoft. They've got a lot of money sunk in it.
Well, but it doesn't mean I want to do everything through a chat, which is
Well,
what this was trying to get you to do.
and I don't want to store everything in the cloud. Same thing.
Well, you can't turn your computer on if you're not in the cloud.
No, I can because I don't have a Microsoft login.
Well, Linux goes to the cloud.
You can do things in the cloud, but to log into an account to get started up in Linux, you definitely don't have to be connected to the internet. Your Wi-Fi doesn't even have to be working.
Well,
It's better. It's a better experience if it is.
We're past the cloud not, being something that you can get away from anymore. But
no. I'm just talking about storing things by default and doing so-called backup into the cloud. I don't mind being permitted to do it. I just don't want to be forced by a screen I cannot dismiss. And you don't want to be forced to use Copilot with a screen you cannot easily dismiss. Similar.
Anyone else experience this? I think you're the first, Bert.
Well, again, I update every day. And I also update Edge every day. And when I went to update Edge, this is what came back.
Yeah, without the 365 subscription, when I update Edge, I don't have this issue.
Bert, I just sent you a text. Okay, anyone else? We're open for questions for the open forum. Harry, do you have anything for us? Came in late. You got to press the space bar to talk. Guess not. Anyone else? Okay, so I sent out a list of topics. We thought we'd do it a little differently. And I'll refine this, and next month I'll put numbers in front of each topic. So deliberately, I did not include the links so that we'd have to open the links together. And it was just discussed that maybe if we send out the links ahead of time, the rest of the group may not want to go to a specific site versus one person, or one person goes there, and we're trying to just encourage better participation. So with that being said, I sent out a link or sent out some topics. Would anyone like to pick a topic? Now, let me just get out of where I'm at. And what I'll do is the topics, I should have put numbers in front of them, so I'm going to do that kind of quick. So basically, should I send this back to everybody with numbers in front of them? Good question, right?
What to do before Microsoft cuts off support?
That's a good question. What to do when...
Okay, and then the other thing is, I've discovered that the spacebar trick does not work on a Linux box.
the spacebar and Zoom
In Zoom does not work on a Linux.
Okay, so what is working on Linux?
Manually turning off the mute.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're
just as a heads up for everybody else.
Okay, so we got what to do before Microsoft cuts off Linux. Which is a good question. What are we going to do on Tuesday? Today is Tuesday. It's today, the last day. So I guess I could have done a quick survey. How many of those in the group still have at least one machine that they would use that's going to be running Windows 10? I know I have at least two. Anyone else got just a quick hand to show? I can only see some of the group here. So yeah, it seems like it might be something that some of us are going to run into. So what can you do? There is a way to get extended security updates. You can fork over $30 a year. I think it was also stated by Bert that if you set up Windows Backup Sync to the cloud, you'll also get that extended for 1 year. You could redeem 1,000 Microsoft points. I don't know where you get these points from, obviously from buying something.
No, actually, all you need to do is browse the internet with Edge.
Ah. And so every time you click on something, you get a point?
I don't know what the rules are, but that's where they collect the points.
Ah.
That and using Copilot.
If you go into the Edge browser and you log into your Microsoft account, it will show you how many reward points you have. And I know people that know nothing about this prior to today, and they were shocked to find out that they had thousands of points.
Bob?
Another way to get those points is by using Copilot.
Okay. Oh, by using Copilot. We'll start racking up the points?
That is correct. That can do it too.
Yeah. I don't think there's a published...
Drew, you said that by using your Edge browser, you'll accumulate points, but don't you have to first be signed into your Windows account?
Well, if you are a good doobie and you followed Microsoft's rules to begin with, you have a Microsoft account.
But some people advocate that they just work on a local account and not a Microsoft account.
Yeah, but if you buy a new computer and you just open the box and follow the prompts, it'll walk you through the creation of an account if you don't have one.
Okay. So this quick newsletter, this quick blurb only basically said a couple of things. This was really a nothing great. That you could pay to get the extended security updates, or you can use reward points, or we discussed that so that you can get Windows 10 extended for a year. But what about the rest of us that are not?
Well, everybody that's on Windows 10 has that free option. Everybody else is on Linux, is either on Windows 11 or Linux or Mac.
Mm-hmm.
If your computer is too old to get anything, then I guess you just have to either deal with it or buy something new. I've
Buy
converted
something new.
seven customers now from Windows 10 to Linux.
Next time I'll put numbers in front of all of them.
By the way, it's not just using Edge. You have to be searching with Bing.
Oh, you got to search with Bing?
The strange part about it, Bob, is that one guy that I know of who's in my computer group here in Florida, he doesn't use Edge at all. He only uses Firefox. And he had over 2,000 points, and he doesn't know how he got them.
Bing search, maybe?
And he's looking at a gift horse, right?
Yeah.
I would imagine if you open an article that's from Bing, even if you're working on a different browser, it would still get points because you have an account. I think I have 35,000 points.
35. So you got a lot of machines that you can keep going.
Well, not only that, I handled it yesterday to deal with several machines on Windows 10, and I thought I'd have trouble with the same account, but it didn't give me a problem at all. It just said, well, we'll add an additional account to the security extensions.
Bert, how do you find out how many points you have?
You go to a Microsoft account. When I'm on Edge, there's a little circle with your initials or your picture. You click on that, and that gets you to your account.
So you would go to Edge and you'd go into Microsoft, right?
You don't have to go anywhere. Open
You
Edge, and at the top right corner, you'll see a circle. And the circle is your initials, or it's a picture you put in.
Okay. And then go to settings.
You click on that circle,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes you to your account. And when you see your account, there should be a place there where it shows you points, or you can click on something for your points.
Now, for those of us who run as local users, we would have to log into our Microsoft account in order for this to happen. Just opening Edge doesn't always log you into your account if you're running locally.
You're correct.
I am looking to see where these points are, and I haven't seen any yet.
Look at the top. when you're in your account,
Mm-hmm.
there should be an icon at tab at the top or on the side.
They'll have my icon, they'll have your personality or your profile.
Click on your profile picture.
Yeah. Click on the profile picture, which I have. And then I'm looking at manage account. I'm not sharing the screen because it is my account. So
It should just say reward points right there in front of you.
It doesn't. It doesn't if you're not. If you're not logged in directly and use only Microsoft.
okay, earn. Oh, yeah, I have to restart my computer because it's not showing me any points on mine because I'm
Same
not,
here.
I'm set up on a local account, I guess. Says for this to take change to take effect, you got to restart your computer.
Really, it's telling you that inside Edge?
Uh-huh. Here I will,
Wow.
and I will share the screen so this you can see. Profiles, reward, Microsoft rewards, earn rewards in Edge, see reward balances, activities, blah, blah, blah.
You need to restart your browser, not your computer.
Oh, restart the browser. Okay, you're right. My bad. So if I close this browser,
Yeah, I'm sure if you go into ChatGPT, it'll tell you, or Copilot will tell you what qualifies to get points.
I used Gemini AI and found out.
okay, let's see. It's still not showing me what I need.
Profile settings.
Manage account. Where am I? What am I missing? Rewards. I'll go over here. Rewards again. And it's not showing me any. So I guess I have no rewards.
Set up a new profile, other profiles.
Try browsing to some website.
Manage account.
Okay, so I did this. So that means if I go here, settings, this should be updated, right?
So when I'm doing it, if I go someplace and is Bing their search tool? If you try to use Bing to search for something, and I think in this upper right hand corner where that picture is, if I go to a Microsoft associated thing, it puts my name next to that picture and it gives me a count of 200 and a little award sign. But it doesn't do that.
Well, I'll say I'm one of those people that has 0 rewards.
Go to here, I'm going to throw it in the chat in a second here. There's a hyperlink that you can go to in the browser when you're logged in. It'll take you right to your rewards points.
Okay.
Control V. Come on. My computer is behaving very poorly. I've dropped out of Zoom like 3 times already.
All right, if you go to the start menu and type in rewards, you'll see Microsoft rewards.
Yeah, or you
And
just
that'll bring you
click
to
on
the
that.
right page.
Yep.
Mine says 36,516.
Rewards in system settings. Oh, wow. You can look at it right inside settings.
You'll get your reward in heaven, Sanford.
I will.
Yeah. Inside the
Mine is
Windows
showing
settings app. it shows you-
195 for this email.
Uh,
So yeah, okay.
I guess I don't qualify. I got no rewards in life.
Well, so basically the rewards are often used for
oh,
donation
wow.
and, a few prizes here and there.
There's got 34.
So what they said was 1,000. You continue getting your extension of updates by contributing 1,000 of those points.
Okay.
Um, anyone who has the Copilot app installed on their phone or uses Copilot on the internet and logs into your Microsoft account. I just looked at my test account that I use for Copilot, and I've got 3,400 points. So just by using Copilot, you can rack them up.
But don't get confused by Copilot points because there's limitations based on your service. Some of them were like 6 points a day, 6 searches a day, and those are different kind of points.
Oh, well, it's got a donate button. I can donate points.
No, so that's probably the rewards, but I'm just saying use of Copilot has limitations based on your service.
So
Right.
who can use, if he was to donate his points or to, who would he donate them to?
Nonprofits, there's a whole list of nonprofits.
When I clicked on the donate button, it brought up a box called rewards.bing.com /donate, and it gives me a choice of
I think Stanford
Boys
is
and Girls Club of America.
Dennis, you were hitting it. You clicked out pretty quick at the end there. That I was doing what?
I think Stanford is asking you to give him points, donate points.
Not to me. I'm exploring this concept here of donating points from an individual to, I'm assuming, a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Hello, CCS is a nonprofit. Bert's shaking his head, going, "No, we're not." Well, we are.
Yeah.
But this is their donate list is special from Microsoft and changes periodically.
Yeah.
So I guess we couldn't be on that list.
Correct.
Oh, darn it.
Yeah.
Well, don't donate it to anybody but us. What would we do with those points?
Is Bill Gates on the list?
He's got to know.
Once in a while, they have a contest, and you give them 200 points to be in the contest to win something.
You have to donate them to one of their choices of platforms.
Ah, okay.
And it says here, Boys Club of America, Special Olympics, Nature Conservancy. It's got a whole bunch of choices.
But we're not one of them. We need to get in there, Bert. Bert, we got to be in that list.
Not a choice.
SPCA. So it's got Children Save the Children. No Sanford.
No, I was not expecting to be on there. Sorry. But I was hoping for CCS. So, okay. Shall we go on to new direction? Another topic.
I like that very first one that you have in the list, the one that talks about converting from Microsoft Outlook to Thunderbird.
Okay, let's pull that one up. Okay. I got it. I got this screen ready to share.
I actually know somebody that just did that. Only they haven't moved their PST files over yet.
How to transfer your email from PST to Thunderbird. What's PST?
It's the file format, almost like a Word doc file format for
Okay.
Microsoft. It's for Microsoft Outlook files.
Okay, Outlook Classic to Thunderbird. Has anyone needed to do this other than somebody that did? I don't know how many here uses Office or Outlook.
Here's the thing. Most people today, if you're on Google Gmail or Microsoft Mail, a lot of times your mail is being stored on the server as like an IMAP server, and you're not necessarily downloading the mail to your computer. If you go back 20 years, the mail servers that people used were most often POP servers, post office protocol servers. And you typically used Microsoft Outlook to connect to the server and then physically remove the mail from the server and put them into Outlook. And when they were in Outlook, they were inside of a PST file. So PST files are not used very often anymore for home users because your mail is typically stored on the server in IMAP format. If you work at a corporation and they assign each of their employees 100 megabytes for a mailbox, then you have no choice other than to offload your mail into a PST file. So it's business customers are more likely to have a PST file than a home user.
This is for Outlook when it's installed as an application on a PC rather than Outlook 365 or any of the web-based Outlooks.
The Outlook 365 Outlook is the one that when you install Microsoft 365, it comes with Outlook.
But that's typically a web-based.
No. If you subscribed and paid Microsoft $100 a year, you're paying for a suite of Microsoft Windows apps like Word, Excel, PowerPoint. Outlook is a physical app as part of that suite.
Does that save it as a PST then on your machine, or does that actually just touch the server? Because the Outlook 365s I'm using attaches to a host server somewhere else.
Right. It's a Microsoft Exchange server. Like I said, today in 2025, most of us are not using PST files anymore. It used to be when the mail server was not holding a lot of mail storage for you, and you wanted personally to have more of your mail than would fit on your mail server. If the server allotted you so much storage space on the server, and you went over that limit, you couldn't receive any new mail. So you either have to delete it or save it someplace. And that someplace is in a PST file in Outlook. But that doesn't, it really, it's considered, I think it's obsolete today because most people are storing their mail online.
Yeah, this is more or less an old topic.
I think this is now because you have the Outlook from the apps program, and you have the Outlook which is on Windows. And some people don't want to move. They want to get off of Outlook either way over to Thunderbird.
Right.
And this is just a uh, 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 telling you how to do it.
Right. My friend that I know here who recently switched, he was unhappy with the quality of Microsoft's Outlook software. He didn't, he felt that it was just a bad piece of software, and wanted to switch to Thunderbird. But, because he's been in the computer business for many, many decades, he has accumulated PST files full of mail.
Sounds like an arduous task.
It's not fun. I'm not sure what these instructions are exactly, and how difficult, how difficult it is.
Mm-hmm.
I went through a mail migration a couple of weeks ago. I migrated off of Google Mail to a private hosted server, and I used a program called IMAP Sync to synchronize my mail off of Google and onto a hosting company called DreamHost. And that's where my mail is stored now.
Yeah, there's a lot of steps here to go through.
I would imagine that if you're old enough to have PST files, then you've been using computers for enough years that you might be able to follow these. But like I said, anybody that's bought a computer in the last 5-10 years probably doesn't have a PST file.
I do.
Jim does. Jim, Jim, are you still using Thunderbird?
I am not using Thunderbird.
You're
I'm
still using Outlook.
but I have a, call it an archive PST. So
Right.
I have 2 or 3 email accounts, and for stuff that I want to save and be able to find from year to year, I have basically a PST file that's a great big alphabetically or subject matter
Yeah.
organized filing cabinet that I move stuff from my uh, email inbox into that PST file
Mm-hmm.
for two reasons. One, I don't want it in the cloud. I want it on my PC. So if I move from one PC to another, I can take it with me easily and know where it is. And the other is then I've got it all sort of in one place, as opposed to, let's see, did I get that email in Gmail or did I get that in one of my Astound accounts? And so I have to go try to find it. So it makes it easier
Mhm.
for me to find stuff.
Jim, did
Yep.
you move it from a 3¼ inch floppy to a USB yet?
No, I have a 1 TB SSD drive.
Pete, you made a typo there. It's the 3.5-inch floppy. Five and
Five and
a
a
quarter.
quarter.
It's a 5.25
8.
is the big one. It's a
Um,
3.5.
No, 8 is the big one.
Oh, well, 8 is.
No.
Now we're talking
my
decades.
my first floppy disk was an 8-inch.
8-inch. I remember those.
I
Back
had that
when
in
I
high
had
school.
floppy disks, I only had one email address, and it wasn't a big problem.
Yeah.
And I was a lot younger and hadn't gotten so much email. See, when you're a pack rat and you have email, you have to be able to apply the principles of pack rat to email, which is basically save everything.
Mm-hmm.
Save it all. Okay, so we're back to our topics here.
How about the one about AI and danger?
There's number in front of it.
Number 3.
Number 3. Okay, thank you. I should have done this before, but let's see what happens here. Sounds very smart, but it's wrong when it's wrong. Oh, what they're saying here is don't always rely on the AI answers to be the truth. They sometimes give you wrong information. How often they do, I don't know. Not always.
I
They
read
don't
an
always.
article in, I think, I don't remember whether it was Wired or where, but it was by a woman who her doctor's office or whatever started using AI with their My Chart stuff or whatever. And all of a sudden, her My Chart showed a bunch of conditions and stuff that she didn't have. It apparently had gone out in the rest of its other systems and looked for her name or something. And it didn't care whether it got the whole name right, apparently, or the name and the date of birth, but it just got enough that it took information from other people's stuff and put it into her account. And she had been spending months trying to get that sorted out and get her stuff right.
Wow. Wow. That's not good.
She just has to tell her office that they're violating HIPAA rules.
Uh,
And tell the office if they don't get rid of it, she's going to call the government on them when it opens back up again.
That'd work.
Don't worry, there's nobody there to watch that division, so it's
Right
okay.
now,
Right now.
the threat is very bad because it's a very, very long process to get out of that once you're in it.
Yeah. I mean, I did hit, has anyone run into AI giving them erroneous information?
Yeah, I do have to check Gemini AI when it heads off Google search. I will never rely on that summary alone. I also have these terrible AI summaries that lead off my email messages in Yahoo Mail now, which means two bad things. First of all, they're reading my email now, and second, the summaries almost invariably don't emphasize the things that are important to me in the message. They emphasize the things that are important to how Yahoo wants to advertise. And Gemini does the same thing. It's how Google wants to advertise rather than necessarily what you will find important in a particular topic. So it's really nice to have the references better organized, but you do want to go to references, and you want to go to references that are farther down the list that may not have made it into the AI.
They're also subject to garbage in, garbage out. So if you don't necessarily give it all the information that it should have, it may not yield you the right answer. I tried to ask it a complicated question that had to do with water flow and dynamics and hydrologic question to it. And it failed miserably. It just failed. And I was able to identify that it could not give me the correct answer. It just gave me a region and said, okay, well, this should happen between this area and this area, but the amount of distance that it was telling me was so broad, it was like, well, what's the point of giving me that answer? I was looking for a finite answer, it was giving me a broad answer. So again, garbage in, garbage out.
Verify, then trust.
Right.
I did use, Copilot to try and get something done in Excel. And it's a formula part worked, but they caution you that it doesn't do math well. which was a surprise.
That that Copilot does not do math well?
Yes,
Oh,
you would expect it could do what a calculator can.
Well,
They were cautious to say, be careful of it.
more like it could be how, as in most math formulas, how you punctuate it, that is, where you put the brackets and enclosures and stuff, affect your end result. And if you're just typing away, you may not necessarily put it in the correct format so it could calculate it correctly. I hope that means anything. I know that I was able to get it to do an area formulation when I was trying to calculate how much dirt I needed to put around my house. I talked about this before, that I basically did a run-on sentence, a continuation, and said, okay, I'm measuring out this area, this wide, this long, this high, calculate how much dirt I'm going to need in that area, then add that to the next one. And I kept giving it all these formulas or these data sets, and it calculated and told me how many square yardage I needed in dirt. So it did pretty good on something like that, for what it's worth. Okay, back to our questions that we have here. We can pick out another topic. See if any of these. What about this Nord? Now, Drew, you said you use VPN, right?
yes, I am a NordVPN subscriber.
Well, let's take a look and see what this says. It says versus Proton VPN. Have you ever heard of Proton?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm making a note here.
Proton makes a whole privacy suite of software. Email, calendar, VPN, password manager, cloud storage. And it's for privacy-minded people. They're based out of Switzerland. And they've got a pretty good reputation.
Yeah, it states here about they recommend NordVPN. And they give you the pluses for each. Proton VPN, there's a free version?
Yeah, they're technically yes, but if you're going through a serious decision and say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and use a VPN, to do all of what you do on the internet, you won't get away with it with a free VPN because there's going to be limitations.
Got it. Yeah, they talk here what your data speed hit would be. Nord is very low.
A free VPN, A, it's going to be slower, and B, it's going to have a data cap of some sort. But the numbers that they're showing for the starting prices are not realistic. I subscribe to NordVPN and I pay, I buy 2 years upfront, like it says for the first 2 years. And right now I'm paying about $4 a month, not $13 a month. I don't know where they're getting that $13 a month from. That's crazy. It's not $13. It's not.
Wow, okay.
It's not $13 a month.
So you're paying $48 a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a reasonable price. Heck of a lot cheaper than this $140 annually.
Yeah, that's crazy numbers. I don't know where they got those numbers. Those are not accurate.
Right. It's probably put together by Gemini. So maybe Copilot. So you could, both of them, you could have 10 connections.
From what I'm reading online here, it says that, let me read it. Oops, where'd it go?
Yeah, I'm on the NordVPN website right now.
This
and
says
they're
NordVPN Plus plan is $13.99 per month. There's a Plus plan.
Yeah, but I'm looking at their website right now, the actual pricing on their website. And the Plus plan is $3.99 a month. I'm
Well-
on their complete plan for $4.99 a month.
Well,
And for
prices-
$4.99 a month, you get the VPN, you get anti-malware and browsing protection, ad blocking, tracker blocking, a password manager, and 1 terabyte of encrypted cloud storage.
Well, at least in this article, they like both softwares or both VPNs.
They're both quality. I mean, if your goal is to measure the performance of the VPN itself and your connection online, they're both compatible. If you get to the nitty-gritty and say, all right, how many places can I connect to? Where do they have the nearest convenient place for me to connect to? You might find that one is more to your taste than another. If you have a smart TV, for example, a Google TV or a Samsung TV or an Amazon Fire Stick, the respective app stores that go with those smart devices will dictate for you what VPN you buy, because you have to buy what's in their store that you can load on your equipment. So you have to factor that in as well. Like, for example, if you have an Amazon Fire Stick, I know that the NordVPN is in the Amazon App Store. I don't know if the Proton VPN is in the Amazon App Store. So it all depends. You have to factor in not just the price, but what your requirements are. Part of your requirement is the hardware that you own that you're going to run it on. That will vary by vendor of the product. Secondly, I happen to like to listen to music that is in the local Boston market. And there is a radio station that you can load on your phone to play local radio stations. Only it won't let me listen to local sports for Boston because I'm not physically in Boston. And Nord has a VPN proxy server in Boston, whereas I don't know if Proton does. So I can pretend that I'm in Boston with Nord. I may not be able to do that with another one. So you really need to look at what your personal requirements are. NordVPN is more than just a VPN. It gives you the ad blocking. They have cloud storage, the password manager, and aside from the fact that they're fast and reliable, and if you're a Proton customer for Proton Mail, chances are you might find that one of their software bundles, comes with the Proton VPN, and that's the one that you'll go with because you're already paying for it. So there's a lot of things to consider.
Right. Well, like they're showing on this free version of this Proton, it's really basic. And if you want to do almost anything with it, like streaming from other areas or torrents or.
Yeah. See, it says 10 devices, but only one at a time.
Right.
So you can't protect your Windows computer and your phone at the same time.
Correct.
So question for Drew.
Yes.
Local markets. My phone is still on my old Illinois zip area code, but my local connection here, which is a wireless connection with through a wireless T-Mobile hub, is actually shows me sometimes as being in San Francisco and sometimes being on Oahu, depending on who's looking.
Right. Your cellular carrier, like I'm on Verizon, for example, with my cellular carrier, so it will come up with whatever their nearest regional internet hub is to Florida. So if I want to pretend that I'm in another city in the United States, Nord covers about 23 cities in the United States.
Okay, so then you would select the city that you're connected to inside Nord.
The city, not the city that you're connected to, the city that you want to connect to.
Yeah, yeah.
You come in wherever your carrier happens to put you, and then you tell Nord, I want to be in Boston, or I want to be in LA, or I want to be in Dallas. My niece's husband, for example, they have YouTube TV, and he discovered that when he travels to Texas on business, he loses access to the local TV channels in Sarasota on his phone. And when he signed up for Nord, he connects to Florida when he's in Texas, and he gets his local stations back.
Okay.
Okay, let's pick up a new topic. Does anybody still use their Amazon Echo? Are there Echo users here?
I have a few Echoes.
You have a few of them. Do they, you have them hooked up in your house and you use them?
I have the Echo speaker. I have one in my living room. I have one in the bedroom, and I have one in my bathroom, so I can listen to music anywhere I am.
Okay. Oh, so what is this showing you? Echo hubs and dots and
They're showing not just the word Echo pertains to usually to a speaker. Amazon sells a speaker called the Echo.
right. It looks like
I use that to talk to Miss Alexa.
Yes. So it sounds
And
like
to
we
listen
got
to music.
other things that they're putting in here. Oh, you could have a whisper mode. Huh. Neural networks that pick up on your whisper and match your tone. I don't know what you do that for. Home announcements and reminders. I guess that would be a good thing. Now, Amazon, who's it bought Nest? No,
Nest is Google.
Google, right. And they're killing Nest.
Well, it's like, here's a perfect example. My sister and brother-in-law are not computer tech savvy people, and they want home automation. So they went to, their Amazon Prime customers, and they shop at Amazon, and they ultimately ended up with an Amazon Ring doorbell, Amazon security cameras, Amazon type of, home automation. because that's the architecture that they bought into. If you buy a Ring doorbell, and you want to be able to capture and watch videos of people coming to your door, you have to subscribe to a service through Amazon.
Right.
That service is compatible with their security cameras as well. So if you buy a Ring doorbell, that plants your foot in the Amazon's camp and makes it more conducive for you to purchase an Amazon security camera.
I personally own the Blink system that Amazon sells, and they don't require you to have the monthly subscription fee. However, I found that it does not work as fluid of a system if you don't subscribe to the fee. Because when someone comes and rings the doorbell, it takes time for it to go through. When you're not a subscriber, it takes time for you to get all that information and for it to show up on your phone, versus if you're a subscriber, it's much quicker of a system.
Yes.
Just an option.
And well, yeah. And what I found disappointing was that Amazon sells that annual service for Nest and for Ring, but they're not the same.
No, they're not.
And so if you buy a Ring doorbell like I have, and then you want the, I looked at security cameras and I like the Nest, the camera that you have they make an outdoor camera that I like. And Ring doesn't have, they have an outdoor camera, but it's not as small and lightweight and wireless as the one that
Blink
has.
Yeah.
And so I ran into the problem where if I bought Blink cameras and an Amazon Ring doorbell, and I wanted cloud storage for my video, I had to buy 2 separate services.
It's crazy. Here, I'll show what you're referring to. Here's the Blink cameras. They are small.
Yeah, that's the one that I want. That little Blink 4.
Right. They do take what is it, 2 AA lithium batteries, preferably the Energizer's Ultimates.
Yeah, that's the camera that I want to buy, but the cloud service is not compatible with the Ring doorbell.
Right, right. It's not. You have to get the Blink system to do that. And then you have to have your Blink controller.
Right. So that's one thing that disappointed me about Amazon is they, as a big corporation, they acquired 2 different companies and then they didn't merge them properly.
No, they didn't. I was trying to show you what the controller looks like, but I don't think they even have that on here. Because you have to have like a hub.
They don't make that clear either when you buy the cameras that you also have to own a hub.
You have to own a hub. Sometimes they make you buy the hub right when you're getting it. It's like part of the kit. There's the sync module right here.
Right.
This little gizmo here. And they changed how that looks. Mine plugs into the wall directly. There's a USB charging port on there. How they show that. Yeah, you can buy them with the cameras, the doorbell, or you can buy it separately. And this module, I think what it does is it's the go-between that the cameras talk to it and it talks to the network. If that makes any sense. And your local storage, if you're going to do local storage, it happens on a micro SD card that you can, or a USB card, I'm sorry, USB stick that you could plug into here. But that's also why it takes time versus you getting it from the cloud. The cloud is a lot quicker for it to retrieve
Yeah.
something versus this. It's a lot
Yeah.
slower of a system.
See, if you're not at home and somebody walks onto your property and the camera captures them, and you want to know about it, you're best off subscribing to their cloud service because you'll find out about the person in your yard a lot quicker.
Oh, like minutes later difference. When the person comes up there and rings the bell and you go to, you got to catch that timing just right, or you won't be able to talk to the person because they already left the house and everything is being saved on that micro SD card, which takes a little time for it all to happen. And you might not be able to get to converse with that person. I just found that the system is just so not the best. Now, Dennis, didn't you buy this? No, you bought the Eufy system, right, Dennis?
I did buy 2 cameras like the one you bought for your monitoring your dog or cat or
Yeah, that
dog.
was the Eufy one. You bought that for your brother or a relative?
Yeah, it was for my brother. I actually never did install it. I have it, but I never did install it.
It's not too much to install, but okay. That was the Eufy system, but that's different. That's not like a ring. They do, Eufy has something. EUFY. Cameras. And I know that they also have a a ring style doorbell. I don't know much about how their system works. Well, I must be in Europe. Why am I? I'm getting all this in what is this in euros?
Those are euros, yeah.
Those are euros. Why am I in Europe? That happened.
And it says United States English on top.
Oh, did it? Yeah, it did. Huh. Continue. United States. All right. Maybe I was just didn't need the. Does it have the pricing on here too? Okay, now it's in dollars. So this is another company that has the systems out there. I don't know anything about how it stores stuff, if it does it
Yeah.
locally or not. I mean, I have a few cameras and those are all just the cameras I have. You can't save anything. It's all just presented to you. You watch it live. That's it.
Right. Yeah, and Amazon sells their Blink service and their Ring service. They're about $10 a piece.
Mm-hmm.
You know, $20 a month is a lot of money to spend just to, be able to see who's at your front door.
Right, right. Which is reason I went to that Blink system for the infrequent time somebody comes to the door that I need to talk to them or something like that. It does work, but just not great. Anyone else want to comment on doorbells, video doorbells? Pete, what do you use out by you? Anything? Or is it your dog?
It's the local geckos.
Oh, okay. The geckos. Okay.
They get a hold of you and you're not getting away.
I'm thinking about, I have a Ring doorbell now, but I don't subscribe to their service. I'm almost thinking the Blink cameras, because they're attractive and small, lightweight, wireless, battery operated. I might buy a pack of 4 and then just put mount one of them right next to my Ring doorbell and use the Ring doorbell for let people when they come to my house to ring the doorbell and I am physically here, I'll hear the doorbell ring, which is my point for me anyway. If I'm not at home, let them look into the Blink camera.
Okay. That'll work. Really confuse them.
Put 2 cameras there.
With 2 cameras there with instructions, and then they got to read it.
Right.
Bob, does your new place have a system for doorbell stuff?
No, we don't have at our apartments any kind of an entry system. There is, however, extensive security at the perimeter and the exterior of the buildings, being a place where vulnerable elderly people live.
In my apartment building, it's only 6 units, so we used to have a doorbell system that worked, but it stopped about 3 years ago when they renovated the building. And I think right now they're trying to install something new, but they haven't quite got it in yet.
We have a front desk with sign in and sign out for visitors.
Oh, okay.
Tight security.
Yeah, the community that I live in has a really nice system. I have an app on my phone, and if I want to invite you over to my house, I can log into the app and create a temporary guest or permanent guest account for you. And then it will send to your phone a QR code that you present to the guard at the gate, and they scan the code with their camera, with their little hand scanner. And if if it's a valid code, the gate will open automatically and let you in.
That's a
And
pretty
then
cool concept.
and then that will trigger an email that will be sent to me that will arrive in my inbox before you get to my front door.
Yeah,
Okay.
our front desk also serves as a package concierge and a resident sort of an information hub, all kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
Our packages are brought from the front desk where they're dropped off by the carrier, and then they're brought up to our doors. Unless, of course, they make a mistake.
So now the carrier itself stops at the front door, and then somebody that works in the complex carries it up, delivers it to the door.
Yeah, that's generally the job of our security. We also have a little postal substation.
Mm-hmm.
How often, I'm going to change subjects here. How often should you upgrade your router?
I'm just doing a presentation about the new Wi-Fi standards and equipment upgrades for a group here in Lexington, Massachusetts. And basically, right now is not a good time. There is a transition going on with a couple or 3 standards.
It's not a good time to upgrade your router?
To upgrade anything having to do with Wi-Fi, because there are some very rapid changes taking place.
Yeah, but what my question was, how often should you plan on upgrading your router? As a rough rule of thumb. It's kind of like, you upgrade your car after so long. You upgrade how often should you do your
I
router?
would, for me, my personal experience is approximately 10 years.
The recommendation tends to be 3 to 5 years, because that's usually when you stop getting the regular updates from your manufacturer?
I never get, well, I don't get firmware updates anymore to my router, but my router supports Wi-Fi 6, and I don't own any Wi-Fi 7 hardware that would talk to a Wi-Fi 7 router if I bought one. So I don't have any need to rush out and buy a Wi-Fi 7 router. So the one that I have has enough memory and CPU, and it works just fine.
Yeah, as long as you're satisfied with it and don't need the firmware updates that may no longer be coming, it's just fine. My Comcast Gateway was the base model and did not support 6 gigahertz and did not support WPA3, which is a new
Right.
security standard.
And mine probably doesn't either.
How often should you reboot your router?
That's a good question.
I do mine every 30 days, once a month.
Once or twice a month.
Mine is set every week. By
Now-
default, it just every week it does a reboot.
Now, if you have one of these things with the TV services tied in, it will reboot about once a week.
Hmm. So in
Yeah.
mine, I can actually set up a schedule for when it's going to do a reboot,
Yeah.
and
I
you could set it up how often it does it. Of course, we always want to do it in the late middle of the night or something like that. But it usually only brings it down for a few minutes.
yeah. I don't have anything like that. I have a physical router and then a separate cable modem. So I need to physically yank the power cord and plug it back in again.
Okay.
And like I said, the main reason why the gateways do that with the TV services is just to update the TV schedule.
Mm.
So Bert asked why reboot. He asked how often we do it. So why is it we want to reboot our routers?
Your IP address can get stale, and if it is not a fixed address, you do want to renew or change it every once in a while. There are also some privacy and security advantages to forcing that to happen once in a while.
The other thing is if you're got a lot of guests that are coming in with phones that are sharing your Wi-Fi while they're there, your router may actually run out of IP addresses to assign.
Hmm.
I ran into that with the Makers Group.
You did. Wow.
Mm.
Yeah, you do want to retire some of the IP addresses that have
And
been
the easiest way
assigned.
to do that is to reset the router.
Yeah. I don't have any third-party traffic coming in and out. So I have my router set to hand out a specific IP address to each device in my house. I have essentially static IP addresses in my house. By having the DHCP server on the router, my router has a feature where I can punch in the MAC address of the device and then assign it an IP address, so that every time that device with that MAC address says, hey, I need an IP address, he gets the same one.
Since we're talking about routers, and earlier on we had mentioned that Windows 10 support is ending today. If a person wanted to have that Windows 10 device only visible on their local network, but not go out to the internet anymore, what can they do at their router or at the PC level to stop that from going and surfing the web or being visible on the web?
The first thing I would do is use a third-party firewall. There's The most common free one is called Zone Alarm, but
Oh, the old Zoom alarm.
the old-fashioned Zone Alarm.
Is it still there?
Yeah, it's still there. Um, I can't think of it off the top of my head because you just rattled my brain. Um, I have a freeware firewall. I have it bookmarked in my list of bookmarks. That is a simple free Windows firewall that you can set it up by default to not let anything in or out at all as the default. And then you have to grant each app permission one at a time rather than letting it uh, pre-program itself to let everything through. Um, it's a simple free firewall that you can run, and it will stop all traffic that's not given explicit permission.
Two of those are Tiny Wall and Simple Wall.
Simple wall. That's it. Thank you.
Don't thank me, thank Gemini.
Okay, let's wait. Let's see this. We've got good old Zone Alarm. I did not know that still existed. And yes, there still is a free version of firewall protection right here.
Yep.
Free firewall. Free antivirus too. And then Simple Wall, right? Okay. Simple Wall. I've not heard of this. Anyone, Bob, you brought it up?
Basically, Tim Kekas is the one who brings up third-party Windows firewall controllers. And what you're trying to do is lower your attack surface. Everybody's got ports and lots of them in their router, and there are usually too many of them open.
Yeah.
The more of them you can close or stealth, the better, generally. And
Yeah.
unless an application needs to phone out, probably most of the outbound can be blocked too.
Yeah. And Simple Wall has a feature where you can basically say, start off with nothing and then let me add things one at a time.
As in nothing allowed out or nothing being done?
Nothing allowed in or out. Nothing goes
Okay.
through the fire. It's like putting a moat around your house, and nothing goes through the moat unless you give it explicit permission.
Okay. Now, something like Simple Wall would work for, or even Zone Alarm, that will work for stuff going out to the internet, but will have no effect on your intranet, your local.
Depends on how you set up the app.
Okay.
Simple Wall by default, when you run it on your Windows PC in your living room or bedroom or wherever, it's going to block all traffic in or out of that PC, including neighboring PCs in your house.
Okay.
One other thing about Zone Alarm and so-called HIPS firewalls. They are by default set up to pop up warnings when things happen that are unusual or unexpected. These warnings can be very cryptic and very confusing, and it's often a good idea to limit them or even turn them off, because you as an end user will not be able to respond to them in real time. And even if you could,
Yeah.
that's not fast enough. You've got to absolutely
Yeah.
block things from coming in the first place. You've got to stop intruders before they get in. Trying to catch them after they get in is just not going to
So,
work.
Yeah.
okay, so we came up with two solutions, two software solutions. Is there another basic way to prevent your computer from going out to the web?
Um,
You
Can you
may
block
be
it?
able to disable DNS server
How do you
on
do
the
that?
computer itself. It's been such a long time. It's in network properties.
Okay, so let's network.
I'm going to type in disable DNS.
Used to
Okay.
be you could just pull the plug.
Well, yeah, but I think what you need to do is you just need to change your DNS server on here, right? Or your subnet.
Yeah.
Oh,
By the
according to this,
way-
it's listening on 22.
By the way, changing your DNS service to something like Cloudflare will introduce a certain amount of safety.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, one thing that is, as long as we're on the topic of DNS, one thing that it's good thing to do is to not use your ISP's DNS servers. If you're just average Joe user, you might want to switch to Cloudflare. I use NordVPN's encrypted DNS servers. I don't use my ISP's DNS servers.
Okay. Anyone else want to comment on this? Okay. I'm going to, if there's any other last minute questions for the group. Bert, do you want to make any announcements? Oh, Dennis, you had your hand up. Did you have a question? Dennis? Spacebar.
Let me comment first. I got a couple points. Comment first on something Pete first mentioned about the space bar and the muting unmuting. During the first, I don't know how long it was, 15, 20 minutes of the meeting, I tried holding down my space bar and it wouldn't unmute. I held it down for 30 seconds, 45 seconds. It wouldn't unmute. Then I let go of the space bar and it unmuted. And what I found was if I pressed the space bar once, it would mute. If I pressed it again once, it would unmute, back and forth. But
Okay.
now later in the meeting, that won't work anymore. And now, hang on. Oh, now it's
I can't hear you.
press it once and it unmutes. But
It's-
in the middle of the meeting, this one button press wasn't working in the middle of the meeting. And I actually did have to hold the space bar down in order to unmute and let it go unmuted. So it was so bizarre that it was doing two different things in different parts of the meeting.
it sounds like Zoom is got some issues.
Okay. The second item was, are you going to be resending your email with the links? Because I might want to go back and look at some of these things, and I don't have the links. I didn't memorize these links.
Yeah, this was just an experiment this time to see if this was a good way to present these.
I didn't like it.
I didn't like, first I thought, yeah, this is good. This is a good point. And then I'm going,
He
maybe,
agrees with me.
okay, all right. So,
Were
You know what?
these things in the FYI?
sorry.
Pardon?
Were these things in the FYI?
Yes, most of them, except for the last 5 things, I think I pulled up, but I probably am not going to follow this routine again, but I will go and put numbers in front of each of the topics down the line.
Well, I
Uh,
just wanted to say that even though he didn't do it this time, if you go back to the FYI, you may find many of these topics.
Yeah, you may
Yeah.
find the topics.
What FYI? You mean this thing that lists
Yeah,
like 100
I-
different things in it?
Yeah. If you actually, what I did earlier today when I saw that the links were missing, I went into Google and just pasted the
link.
text
text.
into the Google, and I discovered that some of these were recent news articles, and Google found them.
It should, because that's where the text came from. So you should be able to identify and find those items easily.
Why
But
should I have to research it when you can give them to me? I don't understand.
again, this was just an experiment to see if this would work better.
So
And
you
If you
can get more
remember, you get the-
Microsoft
It
points.
was, it was suggested to maybe do it this way so that people don't preview and read all the links and decide they're not going to go, they don't want to talk about it or they don't want to explore it. So we were trying to something different. So
If
You're
you
trying to
remember,
control-
you get
trying to
an
control them.
FYI email, which links maybe 100 different things with the link to different articles.
right,
And
which
that's
is
what many of the things that Sanford takes these things from.
right.
Okay,
Anything-
well, I was interested in these though.
Okay, is there anything else, Dennis, that you wanted to add?
Um, yeah, I saw a show you're talking about, I saw a show the other day called The Neighborhood with Cedric the Entertainer. I don't know if anybody else watches it, but it's an older guy and his son was helping him in his shop, automotive shop. And he was reading something his son gave him. And he was talking to his son about it. And he said, son, Al is supposed to be helping me with my inventory control. And over here, you say Al's supposed to be helping me with my shipping. And Al's supposed to be helping me with this. Who the hell is Al? And his son said, it's not Al, it's AI in the text. Just mentioned.
The new jokes of the future. Jim, did you have something you wanted to comment on? Can't hear you, Jim.
I had a question. So every month you or Tim or somebody sends out a list of all these links and information.
Tim
Is-
does that.
Is all of that collected somewhere?
It's,
You
it's
mean-
just the individual emails
Individual
when he-
email,
a couple
that's
times a month that
right.
he creates. And if
There-
you're,
Yeah.
you get it sent to you.
There used to be an archive of them, but not anymore on the
Right.
website.
Okay.
There had been members in the past that have taken these and collaborated and put them all together and made Excel spreadsheets and stuff. But if you want to do that, Jim, feel free.
Okay.
Another
Yeah, Jim.
problem is that sometimes the particular article is moved and the link doesn't work.
Right.
So if it's something old, it may not be there anymore.
Then you get Microsoft points for searching for it, right?
That's
As long as
right,
you
you
use-
do.
There you
As
go.
long as you use Edge.
There you go.
Okay, Bert, did you have any last question or any comments you wanted to make to the group?
Well, did everybody, if you remember, you should have gotten an email about some of the changes we're doing in our meeting topics. We're trying to create West Suburban is what we call technology solutions. Northwest is understanding technology, and South is Windows, Office, and AI. Now, what we're just trying to figure out focuses to bring our programs, to our members in terms of more focused topics, and not be in a position where we're just repeating the same thing several times a month. So that's what we're trying to do right now. Our next program will be Ed Keating's program on understanding technology, which should be on Thursday, though he doesn't make the flyer till the last minute. So we don't know what that's on yet. Next Tuesday, there should be, would be the South meeting, which was Windows, Office, and AI. That'll be coming. So we're just trying to focus our programming, and you're certainly all welcome to be at every one of them. It's just a matter of trying to focus what topics we're covering a little more.
It also is to help outsiders, those people that have never come to CCS before, and they may see something that says, you know, northwest suburb or south suburb or west suburban, and it means nothing to them because they're not Chicago locals. So we're trying this approach to put headers or main topic headings to be the encompassing part of that meeting. Dennis, you have your hand up? Which is it? Space? No space? There he is. Oh, no.
Got
we
to
go.
hold it down. This time it changed again. I read the email and I don't understand email. I mean, West Side is okay. Now that I'm holding down the space bar and I'm trying to switch to my email is jumping around. So let me do it again. Okay,
So we
so
have 5 meetings a month. 2 are SIGs, that's this being tips and tricks, and is a second SIG.
And
The
Linux.
regional meetings that we had when we had in-person meetings were west, south, and northwest. So we're just trying to focus, since we don't have individual meetings anymore, everybody's a member of everything.
right. But what I'm trying to say is we're calling West Side now Technology Solutions, and we're calling Northwest Understanding Technology, and we're calling South Windows Office. I mean, if I'm coming into a meeting and I got a question about my printer, and we're trying to get new members, I'm supposed to figure out as a new member trying to come in, oh, I guess I need to, should I come in at the understanding technology, or should I go to that technology solution meeting? Or since I'm using Windows, should I go to that Windows thing for my printer? I mean, to me, I'll be honest, I think these are stupid, and we should just have it's Zoom meeting number 1 for the month, Zoom meeting number 2 for the month. Zoom. I mean, you're trying to classify, but no, people are going to ask questions across all boards, all across everything. I mean, you're kind of limiting it. Don't
All
like it.
meetings have tips, I have questions at the beginning of every meeting.
Right. Our structure is still staying the same, Dennis. We're still going to have our open forum that you can ask questions on any topic. It would be more that our presentations or our approach at the meeting would be concentric around those main topics instead of just being broad and open. And we heard that there's too much replication from meeting to meeting. From one,
so in other words, at West Suburban, they're never allowed to ask a Windows question because that's now South Suburban.
Why would you say that?
Well, because they seem to be Windows is only one of these 3.
But
technology.
That's the name.
You can ask the open forum is still open forum.
Who is this supposed to clarify it for? Us or for new users? I don't get it. I don't know.
The whole approach was for new users who've never been to our groups before to have an idea of what the meetings are about, because the statement of a region, northwest, southwest, west suburban, is too ambiguous.
To me, I'll be honest, to me, this is the one that's pretty ambiguous. And I'm done talking. I'm done. Okay. All right.
Okay.
I just want to throw out my.
All right. And I will add, I'm going to end the recording for the meeting, and we can continue this discussion afterwards. Just give me a second to end this.